Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pod Maverick After Dark. It's a little after midnight on Thursday, October 16th. I'm Kirk Henderson, joined as always by Josh Bowe. We are both editors over at Mavs Moneyball. Josh, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Fuck you for the guy. Good morning. I was like, wait, what's he talking about? And then I was like, oh, God damn it. Fucking preseason game at 9:30 is a war crime.
Well, so you want to know something ridiculous? I just noticed this, and I can't believe I didn't notice this before. The Lakers played last night. Okay. They played, Monday night. They played, Tuesday night against the Suns. Then they played Wednesday here against the Lakers. And then they play a third preseason game in 4 nights against the Suns on Friday. It's like, what?
That's so stupid. What is that?
I'll get back to why that is later because it's really funny once you know why. The Dallas Mavericks beat the Los Angeles Lakers 121-94. This is a game, and I don't even really know where to. Actually, I do. I know exactly where to start. And we're just going to go with it, and we're going to talk about it. And I just want to say that this game is perfect preseason fodder. Because if you think that preseason basketball doesn't matter, you can look at the first 3 quarters of this game and go, don't care, which is what I had multiple people tell me tonight. If you are deeply concerned about what lays ahead for Dallas Mavericks this season, that game had it too. And I think we're going to be able to look back at this game in about a month and be able to say, absolutely, blip on the radar, just not a big deal. Preseason basketball, like has been mentioned. Or we're going to look back and say, that game was the canary in the coal mine. And I don't... That is a riot. Tanya in all caps, deeply concerned Kirk.
The Mavericks won by 1 billion points. They finished the preseason 3-1. What's not to like? Everyone should be very happy, right?
Brother,
yeah, it's funny. I don't know. It's this preseason has been, I mean, it's choose your own adventure. If you were super high on the team and you believe in the vision, and you believe the fortune favors the bold, then there's stuff you can take out of this preseason that you can hang your hat on, or you could just ignore it because you could just say it's preseason. And then, like you said, if you're concerned about this team, they're, like you said, the first 2.5 quarters, they finished the third quarter a little bit better. First 2.5 quarters were pretty troubling, but the weirdest thing to me is, like, whatever you want to take, like, nothing has really surprised me.
No.
The way that they play winning stretches is been predictable. They just kind of rock fight, beat the shit out of you with their size and athleticism. And then the way that they have lost stretches and possessions is not surprised me at all, because it's been getting beat by the 3-point line, getting beat by speed, getting beat by driving kick games, not being able to defend the perimeter, and then not being able to shoot on the other end. Like, we've seen both of it. Like, we've seen them win possessions and lose possessions with their strengths and weaknesses. And the only thing that's maybe the 2 things have surprised me that I wasn't expecting. I was not expecting Jason Kidd to basically play all of his guys all of the preseason. Like, and that's a good surprise. Like, I'm kind of shocked he played. Like, everyone played every game that could play for the most part. I think D'Angelo Russell was the only relatively healthy scratch in the last game against Utah. But, like, Davis, PJ, Cooper, Lively, Clay, Najee, like Max Christie, those guys all played a lot. Like, they played a lot. Like, they didn't have a game where they only played like a quarter, or maybe, like, the first game against the Thunder, they played a half and that was about it. But, like, and I kind of like that, because these guys didn't play last year because they were all hurt. Like, they have to get some continuity and they have to gel. So that was
if you're only going to have 4 preseason games, they
made them count.
A little bit of my just the cynical part of my brain where it's like, all right, these coaches and teams, they're just trying to make it to the playoffs. You got Adam Silver telling us the regular season doesn't matter. And so to see the Mavericks treat the preseason as a practical application of what they hope to do moving forward is nice. Like it really is nice, because
the Mavericks players and coaches care more about the preseason than some of the fans wanted to care about the preseason.
Well, and it gives us something to talk about, which I'm of course actually seriously grateful for. And as a result, we just have a lot now to talk and think about. We kind of glossed over the fact that Gabe Vincent went like nuclear on the Mavericks in the first 7 or 8 minutes. And that set the tone for the way the rest of the game went, even after the Mavericks climbed back into it. Where I start to get concerned is what happened during the second quarter when they went back down double digits. Like there was a roughly from the probably like the 11 or 10 minute mark of the second until the 4 minute mark, the Mavericks couldn't score. And I already hate this dribble handoff bullshit. I hate it. It is, it's movement. It's sound and fury signifying nothing, because everyone's just going under every, not like screen, but it is. It's kind of a screen on the dribble handoff because nobody cares who's shooting. Like it's just all running around, and then like there's not enough dribble penetration. I mean, D'Angelo Russell does his best. Cooper Flagg is doing his best. There's nobody else except for maybe Najee Marshall that will attack the cup, and it's ugly. It's ugly. And I'm just to be clear, guys, I'm talking strictly in the half court sense. Like the Mavericks in transition they're doing a pretty good job, but this half court basketball sucks.
I mean, I don't disagree with you, but also they're not even really doing it that much.
Okay. Well, because they haven't had many chances. I mean, they're pushing when they can, but then the game slows down, and it's just like, well, who's going to take a shitty shot?
Yeah, they're like, I think it, like Anthony Davis he finished the preseason with 6 assists in 4 games. Like they didn't do any, like that was the one thing that surprised me was like, okay, if you're going to play these guys a lot in the preseason, you need to start doing stuff.
Sure. And
they did less in this preseason than they did in the 9 games Davis played last year in terms of like scheme and creativity. I don't think I could count on my hand this preseason the amount of inverted pick and rolls I saw with Anthony Davis as the ball handler. I could count on my hand the amount of times I saw one of the lively screen for Davis and Davis as the pick and roll ball handler and run a big pick and roll. I can count on my hand the amount of, I mean, even the dribble hand, like they did some dribble handoff stuff, but like they didn't do a lot of AD playmaking off the elbow. And again, I don't know if that's because they just needed AD to focus on his cardio and like ramping up. And maybe they were just like, okay, we're not going to do all this stuff because you just need to focus on running up and down the floor and getting your legs back under you after you kind of sad to sit out for feels like a couple of months with that eye surgery. So maybe that was the directive, but I would have liked to see if Davis was going to play. I mean, damn, he played almost like 25, 26 minutes a night in the 4 games. Mm-hmm. Would have loved to just see more utilization of his passing. Cause like if they don't do that and we saw it cause they didn't do it. Like it looks ugly in the half court because they just don't have the shooting. They don't have the dribble penetration. They have to get more creative. They have to. And I think the coaching staff realizes it. And I will hopefully when they play against the San Antonio Spurs a week from today, hopefully that looks different. And I have confidence it will look different because they did more of it last season, even in the 9 games he played. So I'm guessing this was just a preseason thing where they just didn't want to do it for whatever reason, whether it was AD ramping up or they didn't want to reveal their hand. But that's the big thing for me offensively. Like we know they're not going to shoot the ball very well, but they got to get a little more creative with the passing that their bigs can do, especially Davis. Davis is a good passer. Like use it. They got to use it.
Yeah. Then I'm willing to say that I should probably hedge more on it, but it's just watching it tonight when everything's ground to a halt was just kind of gross. And that is a cause for alarm for me because the Mavericks until the fourth quarter were shooting under 20% from three. And part of me, is the offense not running enough interesting looks or is the offense not doing enough interesting things to get good looks? Or do the Mavericks just not have good 3-point shooters? And I think understanding what you just said right there, that you feel that they're not doing enough right now because it's just preseason, which is more than fine. I think you're probably right. I think you are right. Not probably, you are right. But I think my concerns about the quality of the 3-point shooters is
that's
real.
not going away.
Yeah, that's not going away. Like somebody was arguing or telling me tonight, it's like, don't you remember some of this stuff from previous preseasons? And like, I'm sure some guys will get hot, but it's a combination, and we will talk about this in the coming week because we got a week more before the season, but it's a combination of volume plus low quality. So it's like Kidd was talking after the last game about how happy he was about the Mavericks shot distribution in terms of them shooting more 3-pointers. Again, in the last game, and I looked at this, and I don't remember at what point, but it was in the third quarter before they pulled all the rotation guys. The Mavericks were 5 for 36 from three. Like that, the numbers evened out because of guys who aren't going to play taking threes and making them. This is like the unless they drastically change who's going to be in the rotation, which again could happen. We got that Brandon Williams sighting there at the end, and he looked like he had some zip in a way that nobody else in that offense does, with the D'Angelo Russell kind of aside, him being the one exception. So I don't know, maybe I could be overreacting. Again, it's preseason, it's 12:30 at night. I'm not mad. Like it was, I kind of enjoy having more questions than answers. Because I think the Maverick, we've talked about this a lot, and for anybody that hasn't really listened to Josh and I over the summer, the Mavs opening 20 games are baby shit soft. Like this team is going to annihilate the Wizards twice in the first 20 games, and we're going to be laughing after some of them because the talent will win out in a fair number of games this season. So I could be just being mad about nothing, which is my MO.
No, it's okay. I mean, we had to stay up to watch this game. So
let's take a quick break, and then somebody asked if we could talk about Derek Lively, who is awesome, and I agree with that. So we'll talk about some of the things that weren't so, or some of the other things about this game, and both good and bad, and we'll just be right back. So go ahead and listen to those ads. It's very appreciated if you would do that. Josh and I will be right back. Okay, if you guys are new to our show, please go ahead and consider hitting that subscribe button. After as many regular season games as I can, we're going to host this show and then a secondary show that you can participate in. I'm not going to host that secondary show tonight because I am very, very, very tired. And Josh and I are going to host a couple more shows in the coming days, just talking about the season, and maybe I'll have a specific live show that we can join, and people can talk about any preseason predictions that they want. I'm also just going to be quite frank with everybody this year. Josh and I have been doing this. Josh started this in 2019. I joined him in 2018. I joined him in 2019 and 2020, and each year that we do this, it gets a little harder. We get older, we have more responsibilities. This is not our day job. So if you consider supporting the show in any way, shape, or form, there's a link in the show notes. There's a link in the comments that I posted, and there is a link in the actual description on the YouTube page. And Josh and I we split that money. If you are so kind enough to support us, because YouTube and the things that you do through the super chats are actually they take like 40% away. All right, this is going to be an all over the place show because I'm very tired. Things that I do want to talk. I do agree with I can't remember who set it up here, but Jordan Sanders asks that we please talk about how good Derek Lively is. They have to find a way to do more. They do. They have to find a way to give him more opportunities. I don't know. I don't know how, at the expense of who, but I get excited when Lively touches the ball.
He's the real deal. He's looking more and more like this is going to sound weird. He's looking more and more like his rookie self, because last season was just such a S show. Or I guess maybe he's looking more like that stretch he was kind of finding himself right before he got hurt last season, when he was doing some interesting things, scoring and passing, that we were like, whoa, like this is already in his toolbox. I didn't know he could do that. And then he got hurt and that kind of ruined his season. He came back. He didn't look like himself. He was with 12 and 11 game with 2 blocks and a steal. Had a couple nice finishes, had a nice oop in the half in transition. Yeah, I mean, he's awesome. I don't know what else to say other than it's good to see him look like himself after how awful last season was for him and his health. So he's going to have to play a lot. I don't know where, what Daniel Gafford's status is. So he's probably going to be on the floor a good deal, depending on how much Jason Kidd wants to play Anthony Davis at the 5 to start the season if Daniel Gafford can't suit up next week. So no, I like him. I really like the Lively Cooper PJ lineups. Like that's just a lot of athleticism, a lot of foot speed. But yeah, he was awesome.
I look forward to more. Another thing I want to talk about, Cooper Flag. I combined his, let's just say he played roughly 60 summer league minutes. He's played 87 preseason minutes. Do you want to know how many turnovers he had in 147 minutes?
Well, he had 5 in that one preseason game.
Mm-hmm.
Man, is it 9?
8. 8 in 147 minutes with how much he has the ball.
That's crazy.
I mean, yeah.
That's crazy.
There's not really a comparison point that I can think. I think he's going to have some high turnover games. I mean, I was listening to Brian Windhorst talk today about when LeBron got forced to play point his rookie year. He had some awful turnover games because he had really never done anything like that before. And one of the things that we're going to enjoy we all saw this with Luka, and it's worth pointing out that Flag in this way is similar. They process basketball faster than other players. They learn and adapt and figure out how to not make the same mistake on offense. Watching Flag's control and patience and movement, he made. Do you remember? He made a little lefty layup under the basket on a post move that looked so Dirk-like that I was like, "Oh my god!" I mean, It's just there's just so much to be thrilled about with Flag, and really the ball control and the game never seems too fast for him right now, and
he never looks overwhelmed.
That's just remarkable for me. I don't know how to contextualize that because, I mean, when we saw a lot of like the Mavericks when Luka's rookie year were not good, so we saw they weren't. Like he averaged, I think it was like 27 and 8 or something like that. And it's because he had to, because there's no one else to do anything. Flag this year, I kind of think he might hit all his unders on the different betting sites, but he's going to be remarkably efficient and effective. The 3-pointer is going to come and go, but if he's able to be a high usage, low turnover player, that's insane.
Yeah. Especially when you consider his handle is considered one of his weaknesses coming out of the draft. Like, I mean, and I'm not to say he's like pulling off sham God crossovers, but like he's just very smart with the ball. And we talked about this after the Oklahoma City game. He knows how to use his body and his strength to protect the ball, and that's really cool. One thing I'm wondering with Cooper is, this has nothing to do with Cooper himself, the Mavericks are going to need to find a way to get him easy baskets.
Yep. That
aren't just spot up threes. Because I've noticed in these 4 preseason games, obviously they want him to self-create because he needs the on-ball self-creation reps. There's nothing really wrong with that at all. But they need to find a way to get him easy baskets. Transition will be the easiest because he's going to be a monster in transition. And if they are the big steals blocks team that we think they're going to be, there's going to be opportunities for them in transition, creating turnovers, splash defensive plays can get you started. But that's something I kind of noticed. I was like, it felt like every shot he took, it felt like 80% of the shots he took in this preseason were like difficult. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember him getting a lot of half court easy ones that he didn't create on his own. Like he definitely got, some dunks and layups in the half court, but that was mainly because, he's doing it himself. Like he's such a talented off-ball player. And you don't need those off-ball reps as much in the preseason when they're trying to get him to do stuff outside of his comfort zone. But as the regular season goes on, I would love for them to find a way to scheme up easy points for him.
Yeah. And I think we have to come back to the hope and the expectation that they slowly roll out elements of the offense. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but you're probably right in that regard. I do want to make one quick note. There's been a fair amount of consternation about the way Klay Thompson looks. The last several years, he has always looked like crap the first few months of the season. And then he has games where he just slowly but surely raises his averages. And I think it's just sticking with and continuing to find ways to put him in situations where he can make baskets. That's just something that I saw a lot of being like, oh,
he's
no,
a streaky guy.
done.
That's just kind of how he goes.
Yeah. Did not notice Delano Blanton one bit. I feel okay with that. It's all right. Jaden Hardy. He made it 3 and 2 free throws. He's a plus 22 in 10 minutes. That's it. Is there anything else that's really worth writing home about? I don't know.
I don't really know. Talking about the easy buckets, like you look at the assist distribution in the starting lineup. Like PJ Washington led the starters with 6 assists. It's actually led the team with 6 assists. But like Davis had 2, Cooper had 3. That's okay for Cooper. Davis needs more than 2. Like Davis needs to be. I think if the Mavericks are going to be as good as they want to be, I think Davis needs to be like over 4 assists a game. Like he just has to be. I don't even know if that's. I haven't even.
Well, there's still. I mean,
high.
After
I know. I'm not saying like this preseason is indicative. I'm just saying like they gotta figure that part out.
No, there was. If we assume Anthony Davis is sort of working himself back into it, what they've told us, I will say, the ball stops in AD's hands a little too much. It just there's a stickiness involved with him where it's like he's getting the ball and I don't feel like it's going anywhere but up. And you mentioned this, you said it, he's too good for that. And he needs to get away from it. They've got to find ways to, and I just don't understand. Like he steps away from contact and from, I don't know. There were just elements of tonight's game where I'm watching it and it's just like, AD, like you're right inside the elbow. Don't take a step back to shoot a shot. You're 7 feet tall. You don't need that. Just go into, there were just elements of AD's game tonight where I'm just kind of losing my mind. And it's because he wants to take those shots. And I'm hopeful at some point that they can find a way to just cut down 2 of the long jumpers a game. Like part of it's just who he is and what he wants. But it's like, if you can substitute 2 of those a game and get to the free throw line one more time, I don't know. He's just, I see the talent. Like I get kind of frustrated listening to broadcasters talk. Like he made a couple of long jumpers and Doris Burke's like, that's just so smooth, while ignoring the 5 that he misses. And I'm just like, what are we doing? I don't know. It's good stuff. I saw the homie Popeye Jones on the television tonight. That was a very, very big moment for me.
Your best friend Popeye
Jones. That was good. It was pretty rad to hear the Dave Pash and Burke kind of like list off the Mavericks coaching staff and being like, wow. Because I agree. I mean, it is a good coaching staff. Like it's a name brand coaching staff. That's fascinating to me.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't have. I'm.
No, we're both tired. All right, so schedule-wise, we might come back tomorrow night to talk player reviews for a couple more guys, and then next week or maybe once over the weekend, kind of start doing any preseason because we have some bigger themed stuff that we've hit on and bounced around. I'm not sure. We are going to record though. I just can't really give anybody a moment. Thank you so much for listening. Go listen to the other Mavs podcasts. I'm sure they have more to say. Who knows? This has been Kirk Henderson and Josh Bowe. We will be back a little later in the week, and we look forward to the Mavericks kicking off their season. Go Mavs.